Welcome to Courageous Conversation with Theresa W. Gamble, a cultural storytelling, gracious space to bridge generational gaps through active listening and action-oriented changes.
Greetings, this is your host, Theresa W. Gamble. We're keeping the conversation going. Melanin Matters with Tina Noble, Light Skin Care 101. Let's listen in.
Hyaluronic acids.
Got it.
Hyaluronic acids, and again, it helps maintain and retain the moisture within our skin. I definitely said avoid the lotions or the real fragrant, fragrant items that have a lot of fragrance in it. Instead, switch to like a cream or an ointment because they're thicker, they'll coat better, and they actually they actually help work to build again that barrier of protection on your skin. We must use sunscreen.
Really?
Even when we have to use sunscreen, because even though our pigmentation is darker, that sun still does the same damage. It might just take a little longer with us, but it does the same damage. So the younger, when we have our babies, and I didn't know this when I was younger, but when we have our little babies out there and we're out there in the summertime, they have like a natural sunscreen that you can use on babies.
Wow.
That's gentle enough for them, but you got to help protect them, because that sun will do damage to you. That sun will burn. With the ozone layer decreasing, we don't have that extra element that's in between the sun and the earth to help give that extra barrier of protection over us. So you definitely have to do it even more, even in the wintertime.
Wow.
Because the sun rays still shine through when the sun comes out. It's the same rays that's coming through in the wintertime. But then in the wintertime, in the colder elements of the world, where you're like, I was from Chicago, so it's bitingly cold. So you're not thinking about the sun, but when the sun does come out, it's still casting off those same rays as it does in the summertime. It's just the element, the wintry, the winter just helps, that sting and that bite, that chill that just makes you think otherwise. But no, it does the same thing. It does the same thing.
So what sunscreen products do you recommend for African Americans to purchase? Because there's so many to choose from. Is there a specific brand?
You just have to kind of pick and choose and use what works for you. Like for me, over-the-counter sunscreens, if I don't have anything else, because I'm with Rodan and Fields, I love their products. Now, I have very, very sensitive skin. So one of the other things that attracted me to that company was the fact that the products that I used, and when I first got them, I was very, very hesitant, because I've used some very expensive products from the department stores, from the, your Ultras and your Sephoras, and I mean, really expensive products. And it might have started off working well, but then my skin would start reacting after, a few uses, or after a month of use or whatever. So I use my product line because it works for me. You have to really just kind of trial and error. You just really have to do, because even though I'm Black, some Black made products, they do too much. They do too much. They overwork my skin, and my skin never gets the opportunity to do what it's supposed to do. And I mean, even, lines that are created for African Americans through other products or other companies that have been around since probably before I was born, doing different things. We're big on Mary Kay, we're big on Avon, we're big, and you just have to try different things and figure out what works for you. And if you have super, super, super sensitive skin, then I would suggest over the counter, but that real, God, I hate that I can't think of what the name of this is. It starts with a C. I'm going to figure it out. And I'm going to let you know, because that works really well too.
That's okay. Go ahead. Go ahead and do what you got to do. But this, ladies and gentlemen, we're listening to Tina Noble. She's telling us about some best practices, some tips for our self-care, skincare 101 for African Americans. She gave us some nuggets that's more important. Olive oil, Vaseline, something that's a coat of protection for our skin, sunscreen. Regardless of the shade of your complexion, we need to wear sunscreen, even for our children. Our fruits and vegetables, and fruits that carry a lot of water, so we can hydrate our skin. So I'm just taking, recapping you some things she done dropped and some notes that I'm taking, so we can be aware on some of the things that we're doing. Because I always say, your body will let you know when something is going on the inside. We just have to stop and pay attention. And
thank you for listening to Courageous Conversation with Theresa W. Gamble, bridging generational gaps through active listening and action-oriented changes.